Hello, friends. Welcome to another session for Quant. Now, what we are going to do today is SICI or Simple Interest Compound Interest Problem Session 2. So, as most of you are aware, what we do today, not today, what we do in this channel is we take one particular topic that is relevant for your CAT or any other MBA entrance exam in India. We take this topic, we do a fundamental session where we talk about the concepts and understanding formulas, easy to remember tricks. We talk about all that in the first session. Follow-up session, the problem session 1, which is the second session of that topic, that covers the foundational problem or the concepts that we have taught in the first class. We cement or form our understanding on those areas by solving problems. Typically level 1, some level 2 problems, which also has a high probability of coming exams like in MAT, SNAP, or sometime CAT also. But in the third session, where we do typically level 2 problems, where the advanced 2 and 3, level 2 and level 3 problems, where we talk about the more advanced problems. Sometimes they are computationally complex, sometimes they are conceptually tests your understanding. So with all that, what we want to do is basically cover each topic in 3 sessions, and these are the breakup of 3 sessions. So for similarly for SICI or simple interest compound interest, we have done the first foundational session, and we also have done the first session on the foundational problem. So this is the last session of simple interest compound interest, where we are going to talk about some of the advanced level problems, and we'll see so how to solve. So like for every session, if you have not gone through the previous sessions, I recommend you please go through them first. uh, I'll put the playlist in the I button or in the description box, you can check that. But that understanding of fundamental concepts are very important. Otherwise, when it comes to advanced level problem, we may focus more on solving the problem by leveraging some of the concepts that we have taught in the previous sessions, previous 2 sessions of simple interest compound interest. So that if you are seeing our videos on a daily basis, please feel free to like, share, subscribe for the algorithm. But and also drop a comment if you have any doubt. If you want more one-on-one session with me, please feel free to drop a comment in the description box, or you can write a mail to me. The mail ID will be given in the description box, so we can take it from there. Before we start, the one final thing is, once we show the problem, I suggest you pause the video, try to solve the problem by yourself, see how you are getting it right for 3-4 minutes max. And if you are not able to solve, you can come back and see how we are solving this. Or even if you want to see the solution that we did even after you solve the problem, whether you want to see whether you did it right, or you is there a better approach than what you did, you can come back and see the solution and then move to the next problem. So that's what I would suggest. I don't recommend see the entire video as is without trying by yourself. So whenever I show a problem on the screen, just pause the video, try to solve it by yourself. And if you are not confident after 3-4 minutes typically, or even if you have solved it, come back and see the solution and move on. Any doubt anywhere, please feel free to drop a comment. I will respond for sure, or you can drop me a mail mentioning the topic name and possibly the area where you have doubt. We can take it from there. Okay, so let's start. So just merge this. So I hope this is visible now. So what it says there is 60% increase in an amount, 6 years of simple interest. So what it means if my, just a minute. Yeah. So what it means if my principal is 100, my interest would be 60% increase, means only interest can increase an amount. Interest will be 60% of 100, or 60 rupees is my interest. So this interest has come for 6 years. So here your N is equal to 6 year. Since it's a simple interest, I know that the interest amount is going to be same for each year, because for simple interest, you don't have interest on top of interest. You just have the principal, and on that principal with the given rate, you get the same amount of interest every year. So if your principal is 100, for year one also it is 100, for year two also it is 100, on which the interest is calculated, and similarly till year 6. So what they said, 6 years. So basically, can I say interest for each year is 60 by 6 or 10? So basically, if this is your principal and this is your interest, so rate should be 10% per annum. So this is the rate of interest, right? So your rate of interest is 10% per annum. Now what they said, what will be the compound interest of 12,000 after 3 years at the same rate? Okay, so when it comes to compound interest, we know there are a couple of ways we can calculate this. So one is, we know the successive percentage formula. So 10% for first year, in second year it is 10%, and in year 3 also it is 10%. But the change that will happen from simple interest is it is not anymore going to be the same interest every year, because first year when you get this 10 rupees interest, it will be added back to your principal, and your principal for next year becomes actually 110. And on this you get another 10% or 11 rupees. This will again add back to your principal. Your principal become 121 for third year. So similarly, that's how we typically do a compound interest. So what we can do, we can use successive percentage for 10% and 10%, the effective rate of interest. So effective rate is 10 plus 10 plus 10 into 10 by 100. So where we got this formula, we know if there is individually A% and B% rate of change. So the successive percentage on which the B% change, successive means the next change happens after the first change happens. So you have the principal, the first interest or the first percentage change happens, the whatever value you get that adds to the principal, and then the next percentage change happens on the new principal or the new total. So when this is called as a successive percentage, when all the next percentages happen after the first percentage value or first percentage increment or has been added to the principal. So we know successive percentage formula, A plus B plus AB by 100. That's the effective percentage. So from here we can get it as 21%. Similarly, if I use this 21% for first 2 years, that is the effective rate. And then we have third year, we have another 10%. So effective rate should be 21 plus 10 plus 10 into 21 by 100. If you calculate, this will become 33.1%. Just reduce this a little. So 33.1%, right? This is the effective rate of interest. This is for 3 years compound interest. Okay. So what is your principal? Your principal is 12,000, and the compound rate of interest is 3 years. So we can do 33.1%. So 12,000 into 33.1. So you can get 662, 36, and you typically have 397. This is so 3972, or option C is your answer. So 3972 if I just little. So 3972 is going to be your answer. So that's how we can solve it. The other way you can solve it, if I use this further, other way you can solve this is, once you get this 10% is the effective rate of interest, you can calculate the amount P, which is 12,000, into 1 plus r by 100 whole to the power n. So from here we can say the amount becomes 12,000 into 1 plus 10 by 100 whole to the power 3. Then you get the amount from here, and your interest is nothing but amount minus principal. So whatever value you get from here, subtract 12,000 from that, and you will get the same interest of 3972. But sometimes it is easy to calculate through successive percentage rather than just using the raw formula of compound interest. So I hope it's clear. Any doubt, please feel free to drop a comment or mail me. We can take it from there. Let's move to the next problem. So what it says the simple interest on a sum of money for 2 years is rupees 150. The compound interest on the same sum at the same rate of 2 years is 155. So again, I know simple interest for year 1 and year 2 should be same. So if the 2 year simple interest is 150, that means first year it is 75, second year also it is 75. But when it comes to compound interest, the first year interest is going to be same as simple interest, because first year there is no new interest has been added to the principal. You have only the same principal on which you calculate simple interest, same principal on which you calculate compound interest. So principal has not changed in the first year. So compound interest has to be same. So 75, because the rate is same. So your compound interest is 75, but in the next year it has to be 80 rupees. How we got 80? Because 155 was the compound interest for 2 years. First year you got 75, so in the next year you have to got 80. Why you get 80? Because of this 75 extra rupees that has been added to the principal. Add to principal. So can I say, if this 75, and listen this very carefully, if this 75 was not added to the principal, your value of interest in year 2 here would have been still 75. We got 80 because this 75 has been added to the principal. So can I say, due to this 75 rupees as principal, because this added to the principal, your interest has been increased by 5 rupees, right? So because of 75 rupees, you get 5 rupees as a principal. So for 100 rupees, you get 5 by 75 into 100 into 15. 15 is typically 20 by 3. So 20 by 3% per annum is the rate of interest. This is how we got, because we know of the 75 rupees interest generated in first year has been added to the principal, and because that 75 rupees is added, you get 5 rupees extra as an interest in the next year. So that 75 rupees can generate 5 rupees of interest. So that means what is the rate of interest is basically on 100 how much it will generate. On 100 it will generate 20 by 3%. So your option B, this is your answer. Okay, moving to the next problem. This is visible, yeah. And this is Mohan borrowed 1,000 rupees for 10,000 from Shohan. Shohan charges a simple interest of 10% per annum. Mohan returned 4,000 after year 1 and included the interest for the first year. He returned the amount after 2 more years. What is the interest? Okay. So what is happening? So don't get confused by too many areas. Just start from the very basic one. So year 1, Mohan borrowed 10,000. So year 1, principal is 10,000, and at a 10% per annum rate, your interest per year is 1,000 rupees. To start with, so interest is 1,000 rupees. So end of year 1, your due is how much? Your due is 10K plus 1K. 11K is the due, right? Out of this 11K, Mohan returned 4,000 rupees. So can I say start of year 2, your due is 11K minus 4K or 7K. 7K is the due at the start of year 2. So at the start of year 2, 7 due. So after 2 years, that is year 2 and year 3. So after 2 years, what will be the interest? How much? So interest we know normally gets calculated by principal. So principal means what is due after, because Mohan has returned 4,000 rupees. So your principal is no more 10,000. It is now 7,000. So 7,000 into 2 into 10 by 100. So that 1,400 rupees is your interest. Okay? So Mohan has to return the whole money. So he has to pay this 1,400 rupees as interest. Also, he has to pay this as an interest earlier. So total, how much interest? Total interest is 1,400 for year 2 and year 3. That is together that has been generated. And in the first year, Mohan has paid 1,000 rupees as an interest. So total is 2,400. Okay, the only catch is you need to remember for year 2 and year 3, your principal is 7,000 and not 10,000. And calculate the interest for year 2 and year 3 on 7,000 as in principal and add back the interest that has been generated in the first year that has been paid. So that's how you can solve it. Just one more thing in the previous problem, if you were confused on why we are adding the 1,000, because if you see at the end of year 1, Mohan has returned 4,000 rupees, but the principal has reduced only by 3,000 rupees because your principal has been increased to 11,000. It was not no more 10,000. So in that 4,000 Mohan has returned, he had 1,000 rupees of interest also and 3,000 rupees of principal. That's why the principal is reduced by 3,000 only, by and not 4,000. So that's why. So he has paid 1,000 rupees as an interest in the previous year, and then after 2 years of year 2 and year 3, he has to pay 1,400 as an interest. So total he has to pay interest is 1,400 plus 1,000, which is 2,400. Still have doubt, please feel free to drop a note in the comment or in mail me. So, okay, now the next problem is Ram deposited rupees P with a bank at R% compound interest and it reaches to 16P in 2 years. So we know compound interest formula, amount P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power n. So let's see. So the amount has become 16P from P in 20 years. So can I write 16P P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power 20? So I can write 16P being get cancelled. 16 is 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power 20. Now if I write this is as 4 square. So 1 plus R by 100 to the power 10 to the power square. So I can write 4 is equal to 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power 10. Similarly, I can make it square further. 2 square R by 100 whole to the power 5 whole square. Can I write 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power 5 is equal to 2. So what this 2 means? 2 means your money has doubled. Your principal is become 2 times. Your amount is 2 times your principal. So your money principal has doubled in 5 years. You're right. So your principal has doubled typically in 5 years. So what is your rate of interest? So if you can calculate this in a calculator, you can also see. But for example, for simplicity, you can understand. Uh, so in a compound interest kind of a setting, in compound interest, there is a rule of 72. What it says the rate of interest is R. At R rate of interest, it will take n years to double the money, then R is equal to 72 by n, which means at R% rate in n years, money will be doubled. Or in other way, we can say the principal will generate the same amount of interest. Principal will generate the equivalent amount of interest of the principal, or principal become double, both means the same, in n years if we follow at the R% rate, if we follow this formula R. So what it means if the rate of interest is 12%, it will take 72 by 12, 6 years to double the money. If the rate of interest is 6%, it will take 72 by 6 or 12 years to generate double the money. Right? Similarly, if the interest rate is, if there are 4 years, so 72 by 4, you need 18% rate of interest to get the money double in 4 years. So here we can see in 5 years, because this is the time, in 5 years the money is doubled. So can I say my R is 72 by 5 or 14.4%. So this is my R. So they said if we had invested the same amount for 20 years, what would be the amount? Okay, so just show you this. If we had invested the same amount for 20 years in simple interest. So in simple interest, I know my interest is P. R is, I know, 14.4. And again, this is for 20 by 100. So this gets cancelled. So P into 2.88. Or I can say 2.88p. Right? So this is interest. So your amount become principal plus interest, or 2.88p plus p, or 3.88p. So your principal would be between 3.p, 5p, and 4p. So option D, where it says 3.5p and 4p. Right? So I got something at 3.88p. Okay. So that's how we can calculate. But the main idea here is to use rule of 72 to find out what is the rate of interest. Or you have a calculator, you can put this in an equation and find out the value of R also. We will get something very similar of 14.4 only. Okay, let's move to the next problem. It says Mihir's capital is 5.5 and 4 times more than Tulsi's capital. Okay. So can I say if Tulsi's capital is 100, or let's say I'll keep X, if Tulsi's capital is X, Mihir's capital 5 by 4 times more. So X plus 5x by 4, or we can say 9x by 4. Then so if Tulsi's capital is X, Mihir's capital is 9x by 4. Tulsi invested 50% per annum for 3 years. At what percentage per annum simple interest Mihir invests, so that after 3 years, both of them have the same amount of capital? Okay. So for example, since this is just a rate and there is no absolute value here in terms of capital, in terms of the options, so we can make it a little easy and think Tulsi's capital is 100 rupees. So that makes Mihir's capital is 9 into 100 by 4, or we can say 4 is 25. So we can say Mihir's capital is 225 rupees. Okay. So Mihir's capital is 225 rupees. And Tulsi's capital has been deployed 50% per annum for 3 years. So I can do the complicated formula, but let's see if we can do it faster, better. So 100, then at the end of year 1, it will become 150 for Tulsi's capital. I'm trying to see how much is the amount Tulsi has after 3 years and use that amount to calculate the interest for Meher. So at the end of year 1, 50% rate of interest, it will become 150. 50 rupees interest, add back to the principal, and your total value becomes 150. On 150 in year 2, you get another 50%. 150 is 50% is 75 rupees. So it becomes 225 rupees at the end of year 2. Similarly, at the end of year 3, on 225 rupees, you get another 50%, which is 225 plus 112.5, we get 337.5 rupees as an interest. So this is the final value. This is the final value of Tulsi. So Mihir already has 225 rupees as principal. If he has to get an amount of 337.5, he needs an interest of 337.5 minus 225 or 112.5, right? So without using any formula directly, I'm seeing if we can solve. So interest. So Mihir is following a simple interest. So simple interest means on 225 rupees in 3 years, you get 112.5 rupees as an interest, right? So that means what is the total interest is 112.5 by 225 is the 50% interest for 3 years. So that means in every year we should get, since it's a simple interest, so for 3 years total interest should be 50%, so that his total interest becomes 112.5. For that, then the total interest in 3 years has to be 50%. So for 1 year it has to be 50 by 3%. So for each year, if Mihir gets 50 by 3% rate of interest in 3 years under simple interest, he will get total 50% because interest is same for each year. So 50.3, 50 by 3, 50 by 3, it will become 50% in 3 years. And that 50% total interest, 50% is the total interest for 3 years. 50% total interest in 3 years on 225 rupees gives you an interest of 112.5, which when added to 225 becomes 337.5. So your option will be option C, or 50 by 3%. Okay. So move to the next one, the last one for today. So it says the simple interest on a certain sum is 225 and the compound interest on the same sum for 2 years is 165. So simple interest, again, I know simple interest 3 year 225. So for 1 year it has to be 225 by 3 or 75 rupees, right? So compound interest in year 1 has to be 75 because it has to be same as simple interest. In year 2, it has to be 165 minus 75, 190 rupees, right? So that means in year 2, we get interest 15 rupees extra because this 75 is added to the principal. So on 75 rupees, you generate 15 rupees as an interest. So for 100 rupees, it will generate 15, 20. So your R is 20% per annum. Simple, and we have done a similar problem in the past. So again, we got 75 rupees as a compound interest first year. Compound interest second year has to be 90 rupees, so that the total 2-year compound interest becomes 165 rupees. So in the second year, you get 90 rupees as a compound interest instead of 75 rupees in simple interest, because 75 rupees of interest in the first year has now been added to the principal. So because of that extra 75 rupees, you get extra 15 rupees in the next year. So 75 rupees generating 15 rupees as an interest. So that means rate of interest has to be 20%. So option A. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Please, again, I'm telling, please feel free to subscribe, share, or put a comment and hit the like button. So these are the 4 questions we have. So for the algorithm, and if you like the way we are taking topic by topic and solving some of the advanced, foundational, and conceptual level problems, please feel free and to share your thoughts and how we can improve also. So any thoughts, any inputs in welcome. You can drop a no comment. And if you want to have a one-on-one session with me or try to have any doubts, please feel free to drop an email. I will try to respond as soon as possible. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. Good night. I don't know when you were seeing this. See you in the next time. Thank you.